Yeah. Lower the microphone. Short.
So, going to the mentorship, I'm guessing everyone in this room is both a mentor and a mentee, and that would be a really good takeaway. Like, is this something as a community we could have as a next step? And, you know, Mary Pam, like, I don't know if you guys can help organize something to that effect. I think that would go a long way.
So I really appreciate that, and we at Athena fully endorse that concept. In fact, we offer a program. It's our mentoring program at Athena. It actually started with it was a sort of a law firm that wanted to offer it up to the community, and then we saw California CSU San Marcos that said we want to actually bring this mentoring program to our students on campus. So we had one that was very, very tailored and very focused on the students at CSU San Marcos. We're doing one, I think we're doing another one. It was so well received. We're doing one at Thermo Fisher Scientific. We're doing one in Oracle in Santa Monica. Who else are we doing one? Anyway, there's a laundry list of the companies, again, that see there's a retention aspect that comes from investing in their companies and their star performers and giving them the blueprint and the roadmap on how they can thrive in their career. So if there's anybody here that's interested in mentoring, please come see me or my colleagues Karen and Jessica in the front row. We thought this would be, you know, 1 or 2 off program, and it's turning out to be every other week. So we're hearing it from the marketplace. We're hearing a huge demand, and I think the companies get it. They get it. So yeah, I welcome any other comments around mentoring in terms of changing our.
And that's open to everyone?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Great. Any other questions? Please identify.
So I'm a transactional attorney. I worked in FICAP for many years. I worked with scientists, operations, facilities, management. I've seen it all, experienced some. So what I can say is that before we can even hope to solve the sexual harassment, I think we need to address gender discrimination. Sexual harassment is obviously very subjective. It changes with the times, with generations, whereas the gender discrimination is very objective. I think it can be measured and understood by across multiple generations. It's also the petri dish for sexual harassment. And I think that companies who have an environment that fosters gender discrimination also have a lot of sexual harassment problems. Going to what the previous panel, this is very sad. I think it starts with communication and communication styles, mentoring women in advancing in careers, and pushing for them to change the modality in which they communicate. I think it's wrong. I think it makes the traditionally male management not get used to hearing women communicate. I think we focus too much with, and I think a lot of HR departments are guilty of this. We focus too much on massaging the form in which women communicate to the point where the substance gets lost. And I think if we mentor, we need to encourage women to be authentic, to speak from the heart, to communicate their passion, their knowledge, their true beliefs, and maybe we tenderize the audience.
Very much.
I also want to point out that we're talking about scientists here, and I've worked for people who don't need leadership skills, they need basic management skills. And I just think we can, in the report, the sexual harassment report talked about this, that, you know, a lot more is needed than, you know, just a system for complaints. And I think also, how many here in this room, their sexual harassment is done by a video that you have to watch? Maybe 25, 10, 15, 20% of you. Yeah, it needs to be, you know, real discussions, and, you know, it makes scientists uncomfortable, but you know what? We need to talk about it.
Thank you. Yes?
I'd like to thank the last speaker for her eloquence. Very well phrased. My name is Beverly Emerson, and I'd like to talk about the larger issue, I think, which was alluded to by several people, of where the entire organization is corrupt. So it's not a matter of one person being harassed by the bad guy down the hall and then going to HR. It's when the entire organization will collude with the bad guy. So that no matter where the person goes, or multiple people, they can go to the HR director, they can go to the president, they can go to the CEO, they can go to the chairman of the board, and no one listens. And that is a severe dysfunction of the culture in that organization, and it's based on the reward system of the organization. And I might add that women can discriminate as much as men against other women. And that's based on the reward system. And I've worked for organizations where powerful men actively support women, and they step back to allow other men and younger women to step up. And it doesn't seem to bother them. They want to do this. And then I've worked in organizations where you cannot gain a foothold at all. It's the same 3 or 4 people always on everything. And that's a matter of the reward system, and that really falls to the board to control, but boards can be just totally negligent in that regard. And I think if we could develop policies that change cultural organization, that would solve a lot of problems. I don't think it's the one creepy person down the hall. I mean, that's bad if you work next to him. But that's not the larger issue. The larger issue is a culture that allows that to happen. And men and women are equally guilty, because I've seen women who get to high places because they've gone along with a corrupt power structure. And you need a few women to look good, so you have a few women, but they go along with it. Shame on them. And then, or the woman who, you always need one woman, and so that woman likes to be the only woman, even though she may support other women verbally, she doesn't really. And that person may be, what also I've learned is that there aren't many evil people. Most people are good. But if put in certain situations, they're weak. And so what I've seen is weakness and cowardice. And that's, I think that has caused most of the problems. Could be. And then a second point, if I may, is that the landmark MIT study of 1999 pointed out that on the status of women in the sciences at MIT, that younger women were very happy and felt supported, but when a woman became tenured, she was unhappy. And I think that's because when you're young, you're really happy in the industry I'm talking about, to have your lab, and now you have an office. This is great. When you're older, you've already made it in your field in order to be tenured, and now you'd like some of the same things that you see your colleagues get. And then it becomes a threat, because then the powers that be have to share the pot, and that's where the danger comes in, and that's where I think another level of discrimination lies. So thank you.
So I had a comment. I didn't want to hog the mic, but I was at this women's event with Barbara Bree last night, and someone from the audience actually came up with an idea to solve this problem that, you know, your board is male, your chairman is CEO is male, is to have an ombudsman who would be someone impartial that you could go to. And we all know universities have ombudsmen or ombudspeople, but that would be a way that you could get around, you know, the fact that there's an old boy network that's running your company.
Great, and can I invite our next